one of the things that I've noticed a lot with paintball is that when there's a video that goes like viral on Instagram or whatever, a lot of the comments on there when it's like pro stuff is no one gets it, right? I mean, they look at it and they think it's stupid because we're wasting so much paint. And I tend to agree. You know, I think that a lot of us don't like the layouts that encourage sitting, right? And they don't encourage movement, which has been different as of late, these last like few years. I think the layouts have been designed very, very well for encouraging aggressive play and encouraging quick points, and they're not too drawn out. But I know all of us hate that like just sit and shoot thing. Like, I don't like it. You know, I don't want to do it as a player. I don't want to sit and just shoot this gap for 5 minutes and just like hope a guy runs through, you know, like that's just the dumbest shit ever. So I really, really think that we should go to limited paint, right? I know that we've tried it in Europe, but I think that it would kind of like help a few things. I put down strategy for a pro, right? I think it forces players to think a little bit more critically and think a little bit more about those shots, right? I mean, you don't have 14 pods on your back. You only have whatever we're going to say. You have 3 or 4 pods in a hopper. It's going to like just require you to make the shots count a little bit more. You're not just going to like spray and pray at everything. I also put it rewards precision, which is about the same thing. You know, you're going to want to make sure those shots are good rather than, you know, shoot a whole hopper at a guy. Which is also skill. I put skill emphasis. It shifts the focus from quantity to quality, right? So instead of just spraying and shooting, you know, 4 cases of paint a match, you know, you've got your 3 pods in a hopper. So it's going to force you to actually take those quality shots, which is, you know, the same kind of thing as strategy. Obviously reduces cost. I mean, if you're not, you know, shooting 130 cases of paint at a tournament, you know, you can get that down to 50 or 60, you know, it's going to be thousands of dollars for teams. $2,000, $3,000 less just in paint. Maybe not 3. Hey, like $2,000, $1,500. I think it heightens the stakes, right? Making it limited, you can run out of paint faster. So it makes it a little bit more like intense, right? Like, are they going to be able to maintain their paint? They've shot too much. Now they don't have any left. It kind of just makes it a little bit more exciting, and I think adds an additional layer. But my big thing is that, you know, for me as a player, I don't think it matters all that much, right? Like going to 4 pods to 12, I don't know. I think that we kind of just adapt and would kind of figure it out. So I think that for players, it's not as big a deal, but I think externally is where we're going to see a lot less of the weirdness, right? I mean, paintball just looks wasteful. It looks excessive, right? We're wasting all this paint, and it kind of like counteracts the like notion that people have that paintball is extremely wasteful, which it is. I mean, you know, we waste so much paint. It's crazy. People don't understand why we shoot so much. And honestly, we don't have to. It's just because we can that we do, right? I mean, if you had 4 pods, you wouldn't be shooting constant nonstop the entire game. And I honestly think it just looks dumb. I mean, we're wasting so much paint. Most people think it looks stupid. So I think from the outside, limiting paint is also a good idea. But it's not so limited where you're going to be just one-balling, right? So it still kind of has that element of wastefulness. But for some people that like is appealing, right? Like I kind of like the like really fast shooting, but not all the freaking time, not the entire game. Where obviously some players are not going to like this though, right? Like there's going to be player resistance from players that have been playing for so long. We're so used to being able to use unlimited paint and being able to shoot whatever you want that it may be difficult to get players on board and people on board. But I think a lot of people have kind of come around and are a little bit more receptive to using limited paint. One of the problems, though, that we have seen, that they have done limited paint before. It happened in Europe. Truly, I don't know. They could still be doing limited paint in Europe. But one of the things we have for sure seen is that, like, when you don't have a ton of paint, you might be a little bit more cautious, right? We think about maybe those long drawn out points where, like, you know, you go 4 minutes in and 5 minutes into a point, and if everybody had 15 pods, you'd still probably have paint left. But if we're 4 and 5 minutes into a point and you only have 3 to 4 pods, you might get really, really low on paint, and it can cause everybody to get low on paint. And then everyone just kind of sits because you don't want to, like, you don't have any paint left. So you can't really, like, you know, hold someone in, or you can't really do as much stuff. So it does kind of run that risk of possibly making the games a little slower. But I don't really think that it's that big of a deal. I think that that's more of a layout situation when we're seeing those really, really long points. I mean, if you asked me, I think that we should probably try it in the pro division first and then trickle it down into the divisional things, or maybe even take a poll. You know, the NXL could take a poll, or just talk to the divisional players and try to figure out if they would even want to do that or not. I personally would like to see 2 pods in a hopper. I know that'd be hard, but I think we could try it, right? I think that going to 4 pods in a hopper to start with, or 5 pods in a hopper, and then next year maybe we'll go down to 3 pods or 4 pods and just kind of, like, you know, keep trickling it away until we get to very limited paint. You know, one of the things we always talk about is paintball is so expensive. Reducing the amount of paint that we shoot in every point would reduce the cost of tournaments. It would reduce the cost of practice. But then the paint companies wouldn't make as much money, and, you know, they really do need to make money. Yeah. What is my summary? I wrote this, like, little quick summary thing. So I think it enhances skill. You're going to reduce weight or waste. You lower costs, and I really kind of do think it makes it a little bit more exciting. I think it improves the, like, image of paintball. It doesn't look so stupid on camera. But we do definitely have a challenge of overcoming just the way it's always been. I like limited paint. I think we should do it. That's my spiel on limited paint. What do you guys think? 4 pods in a hopper sounds reasonable. The most basic harness is 4 pods.